Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on CABL. Before I get started, I would like to note to please check my IRP disclaimer. With that being said, very nice looking chart here. Really starting to look like it's coming to life. As you can see down here, biggest volume it's had in quite a while, but more importantly, the price reacted very nicely with this volume. Nothing worse than seeing above average volume come in and then have the price go sideways, or worse yet, even down. But that wasn't the case with this one today. Volume came in and price reacted very nicely. Now, it didn't close up towards the high of the day, but the thing that needs to be kept in mind is that this was kind of like a cleansing process. The price did go up, and obviously some profit takers brought it back down, but whoever brought it back down, obviously they're not going to be there anymore if there's another push upwards. So yes, the price didn't quite close up, where you'd probably want to see it up there, but at the same time, the people that brought it down, they were cleared out by this upwards move. So that's why I kind of call it a cleansing process. Was able to clear out these resistance levels, and any moves that follow this one, it's not going to be as many hills. Now there might still be some resistance, but because of this day here, the resistance has definitely been weakened up, and it's not like it was prior to today. The other nice thing that I like about this chart is we have a double bottom that seems to be in effect. You can see, actually first let me change this to green, since this is a very key level of support. But back here on February 16th, the price came down and hit a low of 40 cents. Made a nice bounce, came back down here once more and hit a low of 40 cents. And then check out the nice little hammer candle that it put in right there. And from there, it has since gone on a very nice bounce. And I know I keep pointing this out, but it's an important factor. The bounce is now being supported by big above average volume, so that's exactly what you want to see. Now, in terms of supports, in terms of resistance levels and battlegrounds that you want to see the bulls get above, really after today's move, the only support or resistance that is going to be kind of the focus one is going to be this purple line here, which is the 50-day simple moving average. Right now, that's valued right at 49.5 cents. The bulls, did give it a test today, weakened it up a little bit, but then, some profit takers did hit it. But the interesting part with that is after this resistance here, the resistance levels really begin to thin out, and the next one is not up until the 50 days big brother, which is the 200-day simple moving average, and that one's not up until right around 59 cents. So, not to point out the obvious, but you can see that there's a pretty big, lots of room to run here between this moving average and this one up here. And, one step at a time. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but then after the 200-day, things thin out even more. But first, let's just bust up through this 50-day right here and take one step at a time. Now, looking at the MACD, the thing that is nice about this is you kind of got to look close, but the bears are trying to get a bearish crossover here, meaning this blue line going back down through the red line, but you can see the bulls hung on, and now, in fact, the blue line is starting to separate from the red line. So that's exactly what you want to see, and the further the blue line separates itself from the red line, that's going to mean both the more momentum that's growing and the more strength that's growing. So keep your eye on this and use it as secondary confirmation, but it was a very nice sign of strength by the bulls that with this blue line trying to cross down through there, they weren't quite able. And I'll zoom in a little bit more so maybe it's a little easier to see, but this is what I'm talking about right there. Blue line tried to push down through the red line, but the bulls didn't have any of it. It maintained itself, and now it's starting to separate. So that's a very bullish sign right there in terms of strength. And then just end on the RSI here, you can see that it's actually starting to put in some new highs, draw that trend line there. You can see that today's action, it was actually able to break through it. So my point in all this is even the indicators are starting to support what's happening with the price and volume. So it's one that you should watch and keep your eye on. And like I said, after this resistance right here, lots of room to run before it's going to encounter the next battleground up here at the 50 or 200-day simple moving average. So if there are any other questions on CABL, please let me know. If not, thanks for listening, and make sure you get it on your radars.